the most dangerous idea in philosophy. What if I told you the most dangerous idea in philosophy isn't hidden in some ancient scroll or locked in the minds of long-dead scholars, but rather it's something you've probably thought yourself, something that feels so true it almost haunts you? Today we're going to explore that idea, an idea so powerful it has shaken entire civilizations, inspired revolutions, and driven people to madness. This isn't just a thought experiment. It's a mirror, one that reflects everything we fear and everything we are. Welcome to a journey through the most dangerous idea in philosophy. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The question that won't leave us alone. Every era of humanity has asked the same question. What is the point of it all? From ancient Greece to modern-day metropolises, humans have looked around at the chaos, the pain, the beauty, and wondered why. Why do we suffer? Why do we strive? Why do we die? Now imagine this. What if the answer is that there is no answer? That's the idea. The most dangerous idea in philosophy is this, that life is inherently meaningless. Not in the sense that it's sad or pessimistic, but in the brutally honest sense that at its core, life might just be. No grand narrative, no divine plan, no cosmic purpose, just atoms spinning in the void. This idea isn't new. It's echoed in the voices of the existentialists. Nietzsche, Camus, Sartre. They didn't whisper it. They screamed it. And it terrified people, because if life has no meaning, then what are we doing? Why bother with anything? Chapter 2. Nietzsche and the Abyss. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "If you gaze long enough into the abyss will gaze back into you." He wasn't being poetic. He was warning us. Nietzsche saw a world where God was dead, not in the literal sense, but in the cultural sense. Science had advanced, religion was losing its grip, and the old foundations of meaning were crumbling. In their place, an abyss, a terrifying freedom, a world where we had to create our own meaning, or fall into despair. This, Nietzsche believed, was the ultimate test. Could we handle it? Could we build value without a divine blueprint? Could we become what he called the Übermensch, the overman who crafts his own morality, his own purpose? Most people, they couldn't. And Nietzsche saw the dangers, nihilism, moral collapse, and the rise of authoritarian ideologies trying to fill the void. The abyss is still here, and it's staring back. Chapter 3. Camus and the rebel's answer. Albert Camus didn't flinch. He stepped into the abyss and smiled. Camus famously wrote that the only real philosophical question is whether life is worth living. Because once you admit that life has no inherent meaning, you're left with a stark choice. End it, or rebel. Camus chose rebellion, but not with violence or chaos. His rebellion was philosophical, a refusal to be defeated by absurdity. He called it the absurd, the clash between our desire for meaning and the universe's indifference. Imagine screaming for answers and hearing silence. That's the absurd. But instead of despair, Camus said, embrace it. Live anyway. Find joy in the struggle. Like Sisyphus, forever pushing a boulder up a hill, not for a reward, but because the act itself is defiant, beautiful, human. Camus ended his essay by saying, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. It's a radical idea, that happiness doesn't come from meaning, but from resisting the lack of it. Chapter 4. The danger of no meaning. So why is this idea so dangerous? Because if life has no meaning, people can twist that emptiness into darkness. History shows us what happens when meaning collapses. Totalitarian regimes rise, cult leaders promise new truths, radical ideologies offer purpose, at any cost. If nothing matters, some conclude, then everything is permitted. This was Dostoevsky's fear. In The Brothers Karamazov, he warned that, without God, everything is permitted. A chilling thought that moral law, empathy, even love could dissolve without an ultimate source. And yet, others argue the opposite, that without imposed meaning we are truly free. Free to choose kindness, free to invent beauty, free to build values not from fear of punishment, but from love, reason, and experience. But the danger remains. Without meaning, we are adrift, and the sea is dark. Chapter 5. Constructing the Meaning Machine. So what do we do? Some give up, some cling to old stories, but others build new ones. This is where philosophers like Viktor Frankl offer hope. Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, saw the worst of humanity and still believed in meaning, but not objective meaning, personal meaning. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he wrote that life never ceases to have meaning, even in suffering and death. Meaning, he argued, is not something we find, it's something we create. Through love, through work, through choosing how we respond to pain. Frankl's message is powerful. Even when the universe says you don't matter, you can say I do. And in that act of defiance, in that self-created purpose, we become something incredible. Chapter 6. The Paradox of Purpose. Here's the paradox. By accepting that life has no inherent meaning, we open the door to all possible meanings. It's a terrifying liberation. Think of it like a blank canvas. For some, that's overwhelming. For others, artists, dreamers, rebels, it's an invitation. Create, invent, decide. The danger of this idea is not just its darkness, but its responsibility. You are the painter. There's no instruction manual, no safety net, just your choices, your values, your effort. And that is terrifying. But it's also beautiful, because it means you are not a puppet, not a pawn, not a product of fate. You are a creator of meaning. Even if the universe is silent, you can sing. Chapter 7. A Quiet Revolution. So where does this leave us? Maybe the most dangerous idea in philosophy isn't dangerous because it's wrong, but because it's true. Maybe the real danger is that we can't hide anymore. Not behind dogma, not behind tradition, not behind destiny. We have to face ourselves, and in that confrontation, and we find power. The power to build, to love, to endure. The most dangerous idea in philosophy is that life has no meaning. But perhaps that's also its greatest gift. Thanks for watching.